A couple other features we put on this. We got a Hydrowave. Since I had so much space utilized by these units, because these are 312-inch units, which actually I didn't talk about the mount. We'll talk about the mount in a moment. I put a Hydrowave on the system. We mounted it in this little cubby hole down here, and in order to do that, we ran some routing the wires through here. Okay, so it became fairly clean. It's out of the way, but yet it's still accessible, so you can still get to everything. The other thing we've added, if you look under here, you see how my hands lit up a little bit. Again, he likes to fish at night. Personally, I'm not a night guy, but he likes fishing at night, so he has a light up here. So if he needs to retie something, he's got a light handy. Or if he needs to see where the trolling motor pedal is, he can see it. Again, same strip light that I used on the console. It's just wired. Now this one is controlled from the console. Again, I would have preferred to use the accessory switch on the Caymas keypad, but on his boat it's tied into, I think, one of the live well pumps, so we couldn't use that. So I did tie it into the control panel on the Caymas with the accessories. Alright, so let's look at the mounts that I used on this boat. This is a Bass Boat Technology triple mount. Excuse me. And what it is, the bottom is 2 mounts, and then you got a single mount on the front. Okay, this is the right configuration. I beefed it up a little bit because he likes to run a little faster than I normally do in a little rougher conditions. We've seen some issues with St. Lawrence River where it really gets messed up at times. So I basically beefed this up. When I added the Humminbird to it, I also added additional beefing up. Basically what I mean by that is I added bolts. I got rid of some of the screws. Screws in the aluminum for most situations work great. When you're in rough water, and this boat seems to have a little bit of bow slap to it, it will actually strip those bolts right out of the hole. Okay, so now the best way to do that, I found, is you put in stainless steel bolts, 1/4 inch bolts, bolted together, lock nuts, you're done. This thing is not coming apart. The other thing I added to this mount is I added one additional screw. These screw covers here have screws behind it. They go into the fiberglass. I did notice that after we had some issues on the St. Lawrence River, I added 2 additional screw holes on the front of the bow here. This one and the one over offset from that. Not one in the middle. Again, I tend to like to just install boats so that they will run in rough water with no issues, okay? Because I've been in a lot of rough stuff. I hate when I have equipment malfunctions. We don't have malfunctions on the boat. That's the idea. Customer walks out, he runs the boat in Champlain, he runs it on Ontario, it gets rough, the boat still works fine. We don't have units that fly off and end up floating into an island like some people. Okay. Now, if you spear with heavy waves, yeah, you might end up a little damaged. But one key to this is I use the gimbal mounts, the heavy-duty gimbal mounts from Bass Boat Technology as well. These are almost triple the thickness, and they're also hardened materials. And so I use full height on here, and I use a shorty for the Humminbird. It turns out it almost put them exactly the same level, which is pretty nice. And on the bow, I use, on the upper one, I use a shorty. The reason I use the shorty up there is so when you're sitting in the driver console, you can see over this unit. With a full height, the unit will be up here, reducing your visibility. Okay.